Welcome to today's video. We're starting bright and early today at Yashio factory with some engines on the ground and up here, and it's time for round 2. Today though, I'm hoping we don't have to revisit this again, at least until a couple years or a year of just non-stop bashing on this thing. So I think we're going to do really well. I think this block is going to give us everything that we need. Looking at these beefy sleeves in here, I think we're going to be all good. We definitely got to prep this block a little bit, clean the outside, make it look nice and schmick. But for now, I got to get all the rods and pistons and crank out of there. We got to check the bearing number on that crank in comparison to this block, and we got to match up what bearings we need in the booklet there. I call this the SR Bible. This thing is seeing a lot of engines in this shop, that's for sure. This thing's really cool. Anyways, that aside, I'm going to get through, get everything laid out from the old engine that we are reusing in this block. You can see I've already got the first piston, the damaged one, out. And obviously we're not using these pistons, but yeah, this is the sad boy. But we're going to be reusing rods and probably going to be reusing our wrist pins too. These look really good, so we should be okay there. But yeah, we're going to use as much as we can. We shouldn't have to need to use new bearings for the rods, which is actually really nice. Just because those look perfect and we're using the same crank, so we shouldn't have to change those. But the mains we definitely will need to, and I'll just need to triple check thrust as well. But we should be okay. I think this motor is going to go together quite fast, quite smoothly, as long as our tolerances are all in check and we have everything here. The only thing once we've done that is I just got to put the block in the car, make sure I get a new head gasket from Okachan, and we're ready to put this thing back together with the head and everything back at the shop. So man, I'm so excited that this is happening so fast. This is awesome. So, time has progressed. You would have seen me get everything out, disassemble the rods from the pistons. These are the old pistons. We can see that pretty much all the pistons have a little bit of wear on them on the side. So it's pretty safe to say that the bore was just not right for these pistons on that block that we had. So I think we were on the money there. But at least our rods are all good and we saved it really early. So we're able to reuse a bunch of parts like our crank and rods, which is super awesome. What we do on the channel, guys, from building drift cars to drifting and all the consumables that entail, and then breaking the cars and having to rebuild them and do engine builds and all that kind of stuff from scratch, it costs a lot of money and it adds up very, very quickly. And that's why I'm always super grateful to the companies that we're able to partner with, because it enables us to keep doing what we're doing. Today's video is sponsored by NordVPN. I've been using NordVPN for a very long time. In fact, even before they reached out to me, I was a NordVPN customer. But if you're not sure what a VPN is and why you need it, let me fill you in. With NordVPN, all of your internet traffic and browsing data is protected behind a wall of next generation encryption. This protects your privacy, which means that your browsing data isn't being stolen or looked at by unwanting eyes. NordVPN has servers all around the world. So that means that you can change your location at the push of a button. So if you're wanting to watch some content online that's usually region locked, like anime or Netflix, it's really simple. All you need to do is open NordVPN, change your location, and bam, just like that, it's all unlocked. But probably the best thing about NordVPN is that their servers are lightning fast. I don't even notice that I'm connected to them. So to start protecting your online internet browsing data and take full advantage of your online streaming services, head to nordvpn.com/SAMMIT and you're gonna get an exclusive NordVPN deal. It's risk-free with NordVPN's 30-day money-back guarantee as well. So what are you waiting for? Once again, head to nordvpn.com/SAMMIT, and thank you NordVPN for sponsoring today's video. That aside, I kind of prepped the block, got everything ready and cleaned, got our fresh new oil squirters installed in there too, all torqued up, ready to go. And now what I'm doing is working out what bearings we need, the main bearings for the crank. So having a look here, I need to explain the numbering system. So here in the SR Holy Bible here, you can see we got to look for a block number and then we got to look for a crank number. And the crank number is actually stamped right here, super easy to see. And the block number is kind of a bit harder to see, but if you look at it from the right angle, you can kind of see it there. Might be hard for the camera to pick it up, but it is there. It's just hard to focus. You can kind of start to see it stamped in there. There you go. Anyways, what you do is you kind of cross-reference it on this graph here. So we've got our crank, got our block. And what we want to do is we can see here our two numbers for the first main journal bearing is 1 and 3. So crank is 1, block is 3. So we're going to get a 1 here, then we're going to line this up with 3, and it tells us we need a number 4 bearing. So then we go and dig through the pile here of all the Nismo race bearings, and I find a number 4. And then we repeat the process. Number 4. We're in luck. Hell yeah. For the Nismo part numbers, you just look for that digit on the end. You'll find that like this is a 0, so it'll be a 50 there. The last number is what equals the numbers that are written on the top. So hopefully we have all the bearings in stock. I'm pretty certain we do. He's got boxes and boxes of them. So these are the mains, and these are rods. You can see the boxes are much smaller. So all right, we got 1 4. Let's hope we got enough. I think I need a 5 and a 6 as well. So let's have a look what we calculated. We got a 4. I need 3 5s and 1 3. Great. I don't see many 6s and many 5s in here. It's 1 3. We'll see. Hopefully Okachan's got more stock hidden somewhere else. So for a moment there, I got worried and thought we weren't going to be able to put this together today, but a bunch of boxes were mislabeled. All these ones with 6 on the top were actually 5. So we were in luck there. You can triple check as well. The bearings have a part number actually stamped into them on the back here. So you can also triple check here what bearing you have. So really lucky there. Now obviously the number that we work out here when we check our clearances with Plastigauge, if that clearance is off, then obviously we go up or down a level of bearing to match it so that the clearances are back in spec. So yeah, I'm gonna get to putting all these into the block. We set the crank in there, we get the Plastigauge out, torque everything to spec, make sure we're all good on the mains, and then it's assembly of that, and then assemble pistons to rods, and then rods to crank in the block, seal it all up, make sure it's rotating all good and nice, and then I'll just wrap the whole thing up in some plastic, put it in the back of the car, and we're good to roll. Also, just one quick thing, this is a set. You always get your front cover machined with your block, so otherwise you'll have like oil leakage issues. So I gotta get a new oil pump out of this block too. So I'll bring my oil pump, which is still good obviously with this block, back to Okachan, so he can use that when this thing gets machined. This thing's gonna get 2.1 sleeves, the same as what this one has, so should be good. Just quickly, coming to you guys from the future to talk to you about what's happening this weekend. It's Drift Matsuri. In fact, I'm already here in Fukushima at my favorite hotel, and I'm doing something that I've never done before for this Drift Matsuri. I'm doing a 48-hour non-stop subathon live stream on my Twitch channel. I'm gonna have it linked down below, and if you aren't following me there on Twitch yet, or you don't have a Twitch account, get a Twitch account and follow me, because you won't want to miss out of it. If you want to experience the craziness of Drift Matsuri, the full 48 hours of non-stop drifting and just absolute insanity, make sure you're there for the stream. It's gonna be a blast. There's a whole bunch of new alerts and custom things all set up and stuff. I'm really excited. And this is also me just testing to see if it's gonna be a viable solution, like a viable thing for future streams to come. I got some crazy ideas with multiple camera angles and you guys being able to switch between them and interact with the car, changing boost levels and in activating the horn and lights and things like that. That's all coming in the future, and depending on how well this stream goes as a test will depend if I end up, investing all the money and stuff into a developer and the programming and all that kind of crazy stuff and all the hardware needed to make that happen. And yes, you guys in chat watching the live stream, my goal is that you'll be able to like turn boost up and down and do a bunch of really cool stuff. So that's my idea with it, but I don't want to take up too much of your time with this video. Enjoy the engine building stuff, and yeah, make sure you follow me on Twitch. Link is down in the description. You won't want to miss out. Once again, this is a test for future crazy innovative ideas, so be part of it. See you there. Taking a quick moment, having a lunch break, watching some drift competition stuff, and at the same time, Naughty Ben. This thing is amazing. And it only costs $3. Gonna eat this, get back to engine work. So I've got the crank sitting in here, and I've just loaded every single journal with the Plastigauge. So what we're gonna do is get those caps on, torque everything to spec, then we undo it all and check to see how much the plastic gauge has like flattened out, and then we match it up with everything here on the plastic gauge packaging, and that tells us roughly where we're at and if our bearings are in spec. After going through the tightening up sequence, you can see that all the plastic gauge is kind of like flattened out and squashed. And what we do is I just go around and measure it with one of these pieces, and we just want to make sure we're either in 0.025 or 0.038 millimeters, and they all check out to pretty much be exactly 0.038. So we're on the money. Our crank is good with those bearings. So I'm gonna go pull the crank out again. Gonna clean every bearing off with parts cleaner, the crank off with parts cleaner, and then I can go assemble and I can tighten the crank in there for good. But this time we're gonna be using the assembly lube and everything like that, because that's not coming out after that. And once we get the crank in there, obviously we're gonna start putting the rods and pistons in too. So things are coming along really quickly, actually. I'm really hyped. This thing's gonna be ready in no time. Well, the crank is now in there, torqued to spec, spins really nicely, nothing's binding on it, catching or anything. Good check to make sure the oil squirter's got clearance as well. It's crazy how close the crank gets to those oil squirters. It's actually ridiculous. But yeah, everything looks good. Everything torqued to spec so far. Now it's time for me to assemble my new 87mm pistons, which are these guys here, and get this all done. Now, I know I don't have to check the bores because these pistons went with the block to the machine shop and everything was done to spec there. So that was kind of the step we rushed and didn't do last time, which kind of sucks. So in hindsight, I definitely am never just gonna, like I just bought these pistons. Well, we actually got them from HKS, and they said that they are the stock bore size, but obviously they're forged pistons, so they need a little bit more room to breathe. And I think that's what it was. Either two things happened. The bores weren't perfectly round, or second thing is I just think the bores were either too tight or too loose for these pistons, and we really should have had that checked. But anyways, lesson learned. Now we do everything the longer way and just do it properly. Although somehow Okachan had this block and everything ready to go, which is insane. Maybe I might just buy another block off him and have one ready to go as well as pistons and rods like ready, just in case, you know what I mean? Better safe than sorry, right? Anyways, all the instructions come here with the HKS stuff. Now, I think this comes with rods too, but obviously we're using my rods, so nope, just pistons. All right, good. There you go. Sick. Well, we're going to use these pistons, get them all in, and they look so good. Gosh, I love HKS's pistons. They really are a work of art. And when you balance these, it's always insane how nice they are. Like, they are not even like 0.0001 gram off each other. It's insane how well HKS balance these. Anyways, whew, they look beautiful. It's what those used to look like until, good old fun times happened here. All good. Yeah, I think I'm going to buy this block back off Okachan when he finishes getting the sleeves done and stuff, just so I've always got a spare ready to roll. Anyways, let's get this done. Well, we're at that time where it is time to put the pistons in the block. Final assembly. But before we can do that, I've already got the piston ring compressor on number 1. We got to lube up those bores, so we're going to get some of that assembly lube on everything, get it all messy and sticky and gross, and then we'll pop these guys in. Just quickly, for anyone building a HKS engine, I figured I'd put this information in for you. The pistons with the dot on them, that dot refers to the front of the engine. You also want to make sure the logo on your conrod for the HKS logo is matched up on this side of the dot as well, facing towards the start of the engine. So, just a little pro tip. Slide the first conrod in, one piston. A little bit nervous right now. Whew. She's tight. And kind of just gonna make sure we're all level here. I hope she goes in first go. We don't have to redo this. And no rings catch. Please, no rings catch. Please. A bit more of a tap tap. She's in. Love that. Love that a lot. She's in, baby. Crazy how much faster this engine's going together than my previous one. Just experience. Last one took me like 2 days to do. This one's taking me 1 day so far. We gooch. I love HKS pistons and rods. Just like, there's so many little things they do that just make them nice compared to some of the other ones I've used. Like their wrist pins, like the little locking pins that go on the wrist pins, they keep this little like beveled edge on them. So it's super easy for them to fall into place inside the piston, and then they keep this little hook part on the end of the clip so that you can like use your little pin or little tiny screwdriver to like guide it straight into the hole, and it takes you like no time to do. Other brands don't even have that, so it's like you're always fighting with them a fair bit. Also, one thing is HKS have a lot of their stuff in stock right now. Pistons, rods, everything, because they're made here. So that's a good thing. Now we're going to go through, just do a rotation, make sure nothing's hitting on the oil squirters or anything. Nothing is. It feels really nice. Alright, now I'm going to go torque every one of these rod bolts down to the spec in the SR Bible here. I'm sure this is just like a Nissan manual or something, but it's an old Nissan manual. And it's still got some good stuff in here that you can't even find in some of the newer ones, which is really nice to have. This stuff's awesome. And it's all in katakana mostly too, so it's really easy. A lot of car names are like English words and Japanese still. Alright, where's the conrod section? Oh, here we go. Conrod, the page is kind of torn. You can see this page has obviously seen in many years. Probably like 30 years or so. I need to ask Oko-chan if he can just take photos of every page of this for me. Alright. So it looks like with these, I need to torque them to about 15 Newton meters and then do a 60 degrees after that. Okumura さん、終わりました。OK。
おい。
はい、何？
ああ、いいんだ。びっくりした。
何が？
こっち向いて。
あ、違う違う。You're freaking me out. He thought the Pistons were in back to front. 今びっくりした。ありがとう。
強化スリーブ。
うん。めっちゃ綺麗ね。いっぱいバルキー作ってできるね。I'm excited to make big horsepower with this. Can handle it really well too. This will last a long time because of the sleeves. ありがとう、本当に。
Okay.
He's so chill today. He got me a new head gasket too, so we're ready to roll. Also, even though our pistons are 87mm, you always get a head gasket that's another millimeter bigger in size. And obviously, because of all the machining and stuff, we're going for a 1.2mm. So should look good. And I can't remember if I showed you or not, but we have to use a new oil pump as well because this is machined as a set with the block. So that's that. Pretty much going to wrap this thing up in plastic and we're done. She's together. And it is like perfect. Look at that. Perfect. Oh man, this gets me excited. And the best thing is, look at this. Look at this. Line this up here and look. Doesn't move like and go like gotcha, gotcha, gotcha like the other one, you know? So we're on the right step. Of course, obviously everything was done correctly. I also found this really nice piece of paper that came from the machine shop, which shows all of the measurements that they made here with each piston and everything with the bore. Rainbow?
Rainbow.
Okumura-sanの車でしょ?
Rainbow.
Rainbow Conrod. これトロフィー作ってかっこいい思います。123そうかっこいいトロフィーかっこいいでしょ? It'd be cool to make these a trophy because it's already like got the rainbow because it overheated. This one oil pressure 0でしょ? でもまだ走った。Yeah. This is the engine he just went full send in, and even though he had zero oil pressure, he still ran it. このクランクも? Ah, yeah, this is the crank too. And these are the caps. すごいね. HKS conrods are very strong. They handle that much heat and still held together like that's pretty amazing. on that note, I decided to put my old pistons from my first engine build in here, because that was a lesson well learnt. And I kind of want to keep them. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them in the future, but I just thought it would be cool to at least keep that first piston that failed, because it was my first engine build, it failed, and it's a good reminder, and it's kind of sentimental, so I want to keep that. I'm going to go get some cling wrap plastic, and we're going to wrap this whole engine up. I've got everything loaded in the K-van, blocks all wrapped up, got the head gasket, all the extra little parts and oil pump and stuff like that, ready for when we get back to the shop. And it just started raining too. Man, the timing is perfect. So, also 350Z diff, because, you know, eventually I want to make the Z go sideways. So Oko-chan had one in stock from when he used to race a 350Z. Actually, there's a photo on his wall, I think, of that Z. He used to drift and like time attack it back in the day. Yo, look at the SAMMIT SR20 van. I love that. Let me show you real quick. I think there's a photo of it here. Yes, there it is. There's the Z. Very cool. Well, I'm pretty exhausted. I definitely had a pretty big day. We got a lot of stuff done. Engine's all ready to go for when we get back to the shop. We can put the head on and oil pan and assemble everything and finish all of that, like just all the bolt-on stuff. But that's it. Once again, another epic day at Yashio factory getting stuff done. And as you can see, there's a bunch of work happening here at the moment. So many SR parts everywhere and engines that are going to get rebuilt and overhauled. It's insane. The amount of stuff that this guy does, like, is ridiculous. And how quickly he gets it done and how simply he gets it done too. This stuff's all just back from the machine shop, and then I think there's another head here, back from the machine shop. That's my old block that's going to get sleeved, and we'll see if we can buy that back off Oko-chan or something. So I got a spare engine just chilling at the shop. But they're still working on Koda's car. I think they're doing cams on it right now. Getting stuff done. Enjoying the nice drive home, guys. It felt so good to hang out with Oko-chan today and build another engine under him. Really can't thank the guy enough, to be honest. I forgot to shoot an outro for this video. I'm sorry, guys, but I love you all. I hope you're as excited as I am about the SR, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace out. Jamata. Oh, follow me on Twitch. Don't forget that link in the top of the description. Bye.